Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another Minecraft video, and in this one we're going to take a look at how to build a dungeon. Now this is going to be filled to the brim with various different redstone contraptions. We're going to have secure entrances, various different creepy contraptions, and also a bunch of other bits and pieces that I think you guys are going to really quite like. So let's crack on. So the first thing that we're going to be building is the entrance to this place. As you can see, I've cleared out a little area right here, and then I've got a bit of space out the back to make way for all of the redstone behind this thing. Now this isn't going to be a particularly complicated entrance, but it should end up looking really quite cool because we're going to be using iron bars as the blocks to really fit in with that dungeon theme. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out these blocks right here, and we're going to create a 3x2 area as the entrance for this place. So that's going to be your doorway, and then we're going to place some sticky pistons down at the bottom facing upwards, and we're going to place some sticky pistons facing downwards right there with iron bars on all of their faces. Now these are going to be the blocks to make up the actual door itself, so we can fill in these blocks around here and these blocks down at the bottom as well. And then you want to place blocks next to both of these sticky pistons, a redstone dot in the middle. Then you want to go up to the top and place blocks going across the top like this with redstone dust on top of all of those. To connect up both of your redstone circuits, the first thing you want to do is place a repeater set to 2 ticks. Then you want to place a block right here, a redstone torch, a block, and then another redstone torch, a block right there, then a block like this with redstone dust on top of both of those. And that is everything completed. So if we were to power this block, as you can see, both of our pistons extend at the same time and both of them retract at the same time, which means we have got ourselves a fully functional door that also connects up to the sides of these blocks right here, which I think looks really quite good, because if we had our pistons on the edges, as you can see, we get that gap going down the side, and I don't think that looks quite as cool. This looks 10 times better. So now what we have to do is fill in all of these blocks just like this, and basically fill in the outer edge of the doorway, covering up all of the redstone, and then we can start work on the security system. So as you can see, I've taken out a little extra space in our hillside right here. We've got a 3x4 area for our security system, and that's going to run into the input of the door. Now the security system we're going to be using is the item frame lock. Now the idea behind this one really is quite simple. When the item frame is in a specific location, in a specific direction, then the door will open, but if it's not in that direction, then it will stay completely closed. So say for example, we spin it around, the door will open in this position, but then if we spin it past that point, the door will close back up. It's really quite cool. So if you place in a few blocks like this, then a comparator taking an output from the item frame, redstone dust right there, and then another comparator there with a block out like this. Then we want a block here, comparators running into those comparators there, then some droppers just like that, a redstone torch on the side of this block, and then redstone running round and down underneath this block right here. Now that's going to be the output for our circuit, and that is pretty much everything completed, believe it or not. So I personally am going to set up my item frame so that it only opens the door when it is in this position right here. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. And it involves throwing items into these droppers right here. So all you have to do is set your comparator into subtract mode right here, and then we're going to start throwing in all of the items. Now when our comparator turns off, that's how you know how many items you've put in is correct. You basically need your comparator to turn off. So I'm going to keep doing this, and it's probably going to take a little while because as you can see, we need around about 42 or 44 items until it turns off. Then all you have to do is take it out of subtract mode, and that means you've got the perfect number for the first dropper. Then this next one is really quite simple. All we have to do is start throwing items until that comparator turns off. So we just need that, and then maybe another set of items, and as you can see, our comparator has turned off right there. But you have to be a little bit careful because you have to be accurate. You don't want to go over the top with the items because then it won't particularly work very well. But this system is now functional. We're not getting an output through the system, which means if we place a redstone torch right here, we are getting an output. However, if we spin the item a little bit further, you can see that redstone torch turns off, and if we spin it up to this point, then the redstone torch is still turned off. It only turns on when we're in that exact location. So it's working nicely. Now that that's all done, let's hook this thing up into our door mechanism. So all we have to do is place down a torch on the edge right there. That was actually in the correct location. We're then going to take out this block, place some more redstone, another redstone torch, and then some redstone dust running into that block. Now that will power that redstone torch and also power this repeater right here, which should run it into our door circuit. So currently it's in the correct location, but if we move it, you can see our door closes up, and if you just spin it around, it stays closed, and then when we move it to that location once again, our door will open. Perfect, it is all functioning as planned. Our security system is now working, so we can cover up all of this redstone because the entrance to this place is all done and dusted. So all I've done now is I've extended out our little walkway. We've got 2 blocks and then 2 sets of stone brick stairs, and I've done the tiniest bit of decorating. There's just stone bricks all over the place. So now we're going to actually start work on the dungeon itself, and that is going to be going off in this direction here. And I'm going to warn you, you've got quite a bit of mining to do. I mean, we're going to create a fairly large area right here, so I'm going to crack on with that one, and then I'll catch you guys in a little bit. So this right here is a 15 blocks wide by 21 blocks long by 7 block high area. So as I said earlier, this is quite a big space. I mean, you're going to have to do quite a bit of digging here. And I'm quickly going to run around lighting up the place so you guys can see what's going on. But this is going to be the entire area for our dungeon. You shouldn't have to do any digging from this point forth. We've got to do a tiny bit of redstone underneath the ground. But other than that, all of the other redstone can fit within this space right here. So it should be nice and easy from this point forth. Plain sailing, I guess you could say. So let's start chucking around some blocks. Now it is time to start work on the cells itself. So the first thing you want to do is place 4 blocks going up like this. Then you want to place 5 blocks going across like that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you want to place another pillar of 4 blocks going up like that. So that is one of the cells. Then you want to place 2 blocks going across and then another pillar and do another cell. So another 5 blocks. That's 3, 4, 5. And then your other pillar right there. Then you want to repeat the same thing on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then another 5. And basically repeat what we have going on the other side. And one thing that I will just say is that if you want to, you can use these blocks as well. We've got the cracked stone bricks and we've got the mossy stone bricks as well. They look really, really cool, especially if you mix and match them in with some of the stone bricks. And I'm definitely going to be doing that. So then you just want to go back across and just replace a few of these blocks with some of the slightly more destroyed variants. And it just gives it like a slightly broken and damaged theme. Obviously, you don't want to go overboard with it. You don't want the entire build to be made out of this stuff, because then it may look a little bit ridiculous. But if you just give like little hints of it, I think it looks really cool. Okay, I'm no builder. You guys know that I'm not much of a builder. I mostly do these little redstone tutorials just to show off how to build redstone contraptions in certain different ways. But there's certain things that I think look really cool, and that is definitely one of them. Anyway, now it is time for the important stuff, which is all of the redstone circuitry. So you want to place in 3 regular pistons right there, then 3 regular pistons right there. So on this side, it should be level with the pillar, and on this side, it should be 1 block back. Then you want to do the same thing on the other side, so just like this, and then level with the pillar, and then this one is level with the pillar, and this one over here is set back just by 1 block. And then you want to do the same thing over here as well. So those regular pistons there, and then some regular pistons right there. So that is all of your pistons in place. Now we actually have to do all of the bars for all of our dungeons, and I'm going to be using these oak fences. Now, I personally think these dark oak fences look really, really cool. Like, they look super, super dungeon-like. But you can use whatever blocks you really want to. If you want, you can use iron bars like we did for the entrance. That will work quite nicely. But I don't know, there's like an old school vibe to these dark oak fences that I think works quite nicely. So do that for all of your different cells, and then you'll be good to go. It is now time to actually construct the cells themselves, and we're going to be using pretty similar block placing techniques that we've been doing earlier on. So I'm going to be doing like a basis of stone bricks right here, and they're going to go around like this. And you need to make sure that once again, we have got 1 block gap right there. But all of this should be completely solid, and this side should be solid with the pistons. And you want to place in all of these blocks, just going around like this, and they're going to go right the way up to the top there. And then we're going to have our ceiling on top of this thing. Then I'm going to go back across, and I'm going to start breaking some of the blocks and replacing them with the cracked stone bricks and the mossy stone bricks. It'll just look cool, okay? It'll just look cool, and you want to do exactly the same thing for all 4 of your cells. I know it's a bit of a pain in the backside, and I know it is a tiny bit time consuming, but in the end, it will look really quite good. So this is what we have going on right now. We've got all of the blocks, we've got all of our fence posts. As you can see, there is no way in and out of these jail cells right here, but now it is time to start doing the redstone so that we can actually open up these things. So the first thing you want to do is go over to this area right here. You want to place blocks like this, and blocks down at the bottom there with redstone dust on top of all of those, just wrapping around like that. Then you want to place a block right here with redstone dust on top, a redstone torch on the side with the dropper facing in this direction, a hopper running back down into it, and then any old item inside that dropper right there. Then you want to take a comparator output from this hopper right here, a repeater that's going to be running out into this block, that's going to go into this block right here with redstone dust on top of it, redstone dust right there, a block right there with some more redstone dust that will power these 2 top sticky pistons right here. Then you want to place a block down like this and a block down like that with redstone dust on top of both of those. Now that should, in theory, power all of these pistons on the falling edge of our circuit. So then you want to do the same thing on the other side, so that's redstone, and then our redstone torch right there, a dropper with a hopper running into the side of it, just like that. Any old item inside our dropper, a comparator, a repeater running out into our block with redstone dust right there, and then blocks going across like this, redstone dust, a block down there, redstone dust, a block down there with redstone dust, and that is all of the powering done. Now then, if we give this thing a tester, we should see that these pistons will extend, and then on the falling edge, all of the blocks get pushed across. So as you can see, we now have an access into our little jail cells, which means that any of our inmates can get in and out of them. We can like flick that switch, and that means that they can get out, and then when we flick the switch again, they're of course all locked back in. So now we have to repeat the exact same thing on the other side, and of course it's completely identical. So first things first, the blocks with the redstone just going around like this, and I'm going to try my best to do this a tiny bit quicker, because of course all of you have seen exactly what happens. So you know, our redstone torch, and then our dropper with our hopper, the comparator, the repeater, the block right there with the redstone, and then the blocks like this with redstone on top of both of those. And then we need to cut out a few of these blocks going down like this, and make sure that we have space for the redstone there, and then the block, and then the redstone right there. So that's that side done. Now we have to repeat the same thing on the other side, but first we have to put our random item inside the dropper, and then once again, yes, block like this, redstone, redstone torch, our dropper with our hopper running back into it. That's your falling edge monostable circuit. Any old item inside that dropper right there, a comparator, a repeater, a block, and then our redstone going across like this with a block down here, and then our redstone down at the bottom. And believe it or not, that is the entire redstone circuitry for all of our piston doors all done and dusted. We just have to hook up both sides into one common input. Now the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to go down the center and just take out a 2 block high area going right the way across like this, and make my way over to this side right here. So this is where that redstone is, and you want to do the same thing on the other side. So just take out all of those blocks, and we should be just underneath this circuit here. Then we're going to place a block directly in the center, which is going to be the input for this thing. And then down underneath, we're going to place all of our redstone. So our redstone is going to go across like this. It's going to run into a block with a redstone torch on top, and then another block right here with another redstone torch, and then a block just up at the top like that. And you want to repeat the same thing on the other side. So that is redstone going across like this. It's going to be going into this block here with your redstone torch, and then your block, and then your redstone torch with your block on the top. Now that means that when you flick this lever right here, all of these pistons will extend, so all of our doors are closed, and when we flick it again, all of our doors will open. Now, if you get something like this happening to your redstone circuit, all you have to do is go up to the top, take out this redstone, and place a half slab right there with redstone dust on top, a block right there with redstone dust there, and then a block here with redstone dust right there. And that should just about do it. Just take out those blocks, place redstone dust there and there, and that should be everything done. You can see our pistons are retracting. When we flick the lever, all of them should close. Let's just look around. Good stuff. And when we flick it again, then we get the extension and the retraction on that one, and on all of the other ones as well. So we have entrances to all of the jail cells. Time to clear up all of these blocks, and while we're at it, we might as well do the flooring for this place, because I personally don't think that just solid stone looks that good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck in a little bit of cobblestone inside the flooring, just dotted around to make it look a tiny bit messy and a tiny bit cracked. You know, that's the whole point of this place. It's meant to look slightly worn down. It's obviously not meant to be a very pretty build. We just want to make it just a tiny bit eerie and a tiny bit uneasy, and this seems like a pretty good way of doing it. So quickly ruin up all of the floors, and then that will really add to the effect of the build. Now it is time to start work on the lighting system, and you guessed it, we are going to be doing the flickering light system. But this is going to be a slightly more advanced version than the one that I did in the Redstone factory, which I think looks 10 times better. I built this in the testing world where I actually designed this dungeon, and it looks fantastic. It's seriously cool, so I'm excited for this one. So what we're going to do is go up from the center here, and we're going to place 2 blocks in like this. And just to let you know, these redstone lamps are placed in the center of the cells, and obviously they're just 1 block off the edge of it. But then you want to go up into the center, place 2 blocks like this, and then your hoppers running into one another just like that. Then you want to place some blocks out like this, a comparator facing out of each one of our hoppers. They're going to be going out into these blocks right here. Then you want a dropper with a hopper running back into it, and another dropper with a hopper running back into that one. Then you want to place a comparator running out from our dropper just like this, with 2 bits of redstone running across like that. Then you want to place a block down here with a repeater, and then we're going to have blocks going right the way across just like that, running into both of our redstone lamps. Then you want to place any old item inside our dropper right there. Then you want to repeat the exact same thing on the other side. So you want to take a comparator output from our dropper right here, and then our 2 blocks going across like this with redstone dust right there, a block down at the bottom, a repeater facing in this direction, and then our blocks powering both of our redstone lamps. Now what we have to do is fill in our droppers, and the way we're going to do that is by using the randomizer system. So you want to place any old random item in there, then a slightly different random item in there, and then a random non-stackable item inside that dropper right there. And as you can see, all of our redstone lamps should turn on, and you want to do the same thing on the other side. So random item, another random item, and then our random non-stackable item, and our redstone lamps will turn on right there. And then all we have to do is place an item inside our hoppers, and as you can see, this system will fire into action, and any second now we should get a flicker through our redstone lamps. You might have just quite caught it. There it is. It's looking really cool, and when we remove all of the redstone torches from the area, it's going to look absolutely stunning, I can promise you. Now for the decoration of the roof itself, and I must admit, I've been a bit of an idiot here, because as you can see, we've got these red blocks going right the way across, which don't look particularly good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of those blocks and unfortunately replace them with these stone slabs. Now, the way that we're going to be doing our stone slabs is a little bit different from normal. We're actually going to mix and match the heights of the stone slabs. So you can see I've got one there, and then we're going to sort of just chuck in a few around, and that's basically to make it look like there are parts of the roof actually missing. And when we have areas like this, just make sure that you fill in that block there, and it will look really, really cool. I mean, I seriously like this style. It's something that looks really nice, and if you want to, you can even chuck in a few stone bricks just to make it look a little bit different. This place is now looking super, super awesome. All of the blocks are coming together now, and it is starting to look like a proper build, and it's really looking like a dungeon. I mean, this is one of my favorite builds I think I've done in this little redstone tutorial series that I've been doing. Anyway, we can now start chucking in the things for ourselves. So I'm going to have a bed in this corner, and then we're going to have our toilet in that corner over there, and we're going to do the same thing for every single one of the cells. So that's just that little thing, the basin down there, and then we're going to have, yep, our bed right there, and just do that all the way through. Now we do have one more redstone contraption to work on, and that is the food dispensing circuit, because of course we don't want to be having to do that manually, okay? We don't have to be interacting with these horrible people that are going to be in these cells. What we want to do is we want to do that automatically using redstone, and that's all going to be happening up above here. So the first thing you've got to do is go up to the top here and take out the block behind this dropper right here. You're then going to place a block of compressed ice right there, a block out the back here with a dropper facing across like that. You want to place a bunch of blocks going across here, and a bunch of blocks running up to the top to stop the item from falling out onto any of these. So the item should travel across here, then down into that hole. Then you want to do the same thing on this side, so take out that block, place in your compressed ice, your block right there, and then your dropper facing across, your blocks going up like this, and blocks going all the way around here, and then you want to do exactly the same thing on the other side too. To connect these things up, all we have to do is go over into this area right here, and you need to place a line of blocks going across like this, with redstone dust on top of all of those. Then you want to place a block on top of this redstone, and a block on top of this redstone, and then blocks going right the way across here, all the way over into this area there. Then place redstone on top of all of these blocks. Now what that will do is that will run a redstone signal from this space over here, which is where our input is going to be, into those droppers. Then you want to repeat the same thing on the other side, that is blocks going across like this with redstone on top of all of those. Then you want to place a block on top of this redstone, a block on top of this redstone, and then our lines of blocks going right the way across, making sure that none of the blocks get mixed up with any of the redstone. So just blocks going across like that, then redstone here, and redstone on top of all of these as well. Now you want to head inside our dungeon area, and you want to place blocks going all the way around in this sort of formation right here, just around the edge of our dungeon area. Then you want to place a block up at the top, or any blocks where we have gaps up in the ceiling. Then we're going to place in all of our stone slabs, because I think they look pretty cool. And on the front of these stone slabs right here, we're going to place our button. That is going to be the food dispenser button. So then you want to fill in all of these blocks and place a line of blocks going across like this into this block up like that. And then our line of blocks going across like this with that block up there. Redstone dust going across here. Redstone torch, a block, and then a redstone torch right there with blocks running into this line. So all of the redstone going across. And then once again, redstone torch, block, redstone torch, block, and then blocks going across with redstone dust on top of those. And then all we have to do is fill up all of our dispensers with our food. Now I'm going to be using pork chops just because I think that's pretty good dungeon food. I mean, it's not quite as good as steak. I personally absolutely love chicken. Pork probably isn't my favourite one, so this seems good. But then again, I'd say rabbit seems like a pretty good one as well. Whatever food you've chosen, you should now have a working system. So when we hit this button, you can see the food drops down into that cell, the food drops down into that cell. We've got food in this cell, and food in this cell as well. So the entire system is now functional. We can close up all of our piston doors, all of our dungeoners are kept inside their dungeons. We can pop outside and lock up all of our doors and head on the outside of the dungeon because this thing is all fully completed, and I have to say, I'm super proud of it. I think it's absolutely awesome. One of my favourite redstone builds featured in this series so far. But unfortunately, ladies and gents, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.